Welcome to Waco. You know, when the Baylor Line hits the field, it is time for football here at McLean Stadium. You're watching Fox College Football on FS1. We got a Power 5 matchup of two unbeaten, 2-0 Duke taking on the 2-0 Baylor Bears. Hello, everyone. I'm Brian Custer. We here at Fox Sports would like to take a moment to send our thoughts and prayers to everyone who's been affected by Hurricane Florence. You know, this storm has had a huge impact on the Carolinas with causing flooding. There have been loss of lives and a wide area of residents being evacuated for shelter. And for those of you in the area, we pray for your safety and a speedy recovery. And of course, it's also affected a number of college football games like this one. As I bring in my partner, Ben Lieber, he spent 10 years in the National Football League. Duke was affected by Hurricane Florence. They had to fly in here a day early. Still don't know whether or not they're going to fly out. They lost two of their best players last week. And then you got unbeaten Baylor. What do we got here today?
Well, you know, obviously the injury is going to impact both sides of the ball, but I really think it's going to impact them offensively. You know, Daniel Jones, the starting quarterback, goes down with a broken collarbone, so he's going to be out several weeks. So that means Quinton Harris is going to get his first start tonight. He's a dual threat type of guy that needs to win this game throwing the football. And then you look at Baylor. They have two quarterbacks really talented that they like in Charlie Brewer and Jalen McClendon. We're going to see both today. Charlie Brewer will get the start, but keep your eye out for Jalen McClendon and his big arm.
Well, Duke won the toss. They're going to defer. So we're going to get our first look at the Baylor quarterbacks, Charlie Brewer and Jalen McClendon. As we kick things away here in Waco, third ever meeting between Duke and Baylor. This is Josh Fleeks, the freshman. And he gets around the edge and pulled out of bounds at the 45. A good return for the Baylor Bears. 39 yards on the return by the freshman. And let's get our first look now at Charlie Brewer. Already been Baylor's most accurate passer.
And he's a dual threat type of guy. They really like what he brings to the table, especially getting outside the pocket. Awfully accurate on the run.
Michael Hasty in the backfield. First pass is complete to Jalen Hurd. He's right there at the first down marker.
Well, I imagine we're going to see Jalen Hurd's name called an awful lot in this ball game. So talented. The transfer from Tennessee comes in, rebuilt his body from a running back where he took 600 carries at Tennessee. Now he's slimmed down and playing wide receiver and making a lot of plays early so far in the season.
Quick flare out to Hasty. And he picks up a couple. Brought down by Ben Humphries of Duke.
You know, I think right now you're starting to see a little bit of the keys to this offense for Baylor. They're not scared of this defensive line from Duke, but they respect them so much. That is the strength of this Duke defense, and so far you're getting a quick pass on the outside on both plays to the right and left. That time to the running back. I think they want to minimize the opportunities for them to cause penetrations.
Here's Brewer, keeps it. And upended by Dylan Singleton. You know, Baylor has scored on their first drive in each of the first two games, and conversely, that Duke defense hasn't allowed a point in 13 drives. So take a look at Matt Rule, 43 years young, 6th season as a head coach, his 2nd season here at Baylor.
You know, along with that stat, that defense is holding opposing running games at 3.4 yards on average, which that's going to win a lot of football games. If you can stop the run, that just makes everything one-dimensional, and that's where they really tee off.
Brewer looking left. Flushed out of the pocket, under pressure, and underthrows Chris Platt.
Well, going down the field, looking at what Charlie Brewer was looking at, Jalen Hurd was streaking down, running like a little skinny post, but they double team him. A little bit of his eyes were a little undisciplined, getting down to the second level and checking out the guy in the flat. By that time, he had to make an errant throw. So you can see Duke already they're going to double team Jalen Hurd in any critical down situation.
Here's Connor Martin. This is from 44 yards out. He's perfect thus far on the season, 5 of 5. And I jinxed him. And I jinxed him. So no score here in the first period. Duke will get their first offensive possession when we come back. Welcome back to Waco. No score here in the first quarter. Duke with their first offensive possession coming up. We'll get our first look at Quinton Harris, but first, the hits keep on coming. Michael Carter, their second best defensive player, walking off the field. He was replacing Mark Gilbert, who was their all-ACC corner. Here's Quinton Harris. First pass is complete, and it's to Jonathan Lloyd. Do you know, going into this game, they have now thrown on first down on 23 straight times. They've now completed 20 of them, and 86% of them, Jonathan Lloyd.
That is a heck of a stat, and that is one thing that you have to see on this quarterback, is his ability to throw the football in this game.
Quinton Harris will keep it. It's a first down. Harris getting his first career start. He has thrown just 15, now 16 career passes.
And primarily used in the red zone as a quarterback run threat. And now, because of the injury to Daniel Jones, a broken collarbone, he's making his first start. And again, he's throwing the ball here on first and first two out of the 3 downs here throwing the football. But that's going to be the key for them in this game, is can he not only run and make some plays, but can he throw the ball down the field and let his wide receivers make some plays?
Greg Roberts knocked that one down. 2nd and 10 now for Duke. Britton Brown, offset right of Harris. And he's looking, and just over the outstretched hand of Jonathan Lloyd. Harris in hand with the defense.
I think you're going to get a lot of these one-on-one matchups on the outside, because they want to stop the run game. They're going to pack the run box with a bunch of defenders, and he sees the one-on-one matchup on the outside, and he's just off the fingertips, but he had a nice loft on that ball with a nice little touch. Again, it's going to be interesting to see how he throws the ball as this game goes on.
3rd and 10 for the Blue Devils. Harris flushed out of the pocket, keeps it. And he's a couple yards shy of first down. Jordan Williams first to make the stop.
Well, and that's what you don't want to see at the end of that play, is your quarterback taking some big shots. That's going to happen when you have a quarterback that runs with the football. He's going to put himself in harm's way, but you really want to limit, especially when you've already got your starting quarterback out with a broken collarbone. You can ill afford to lose another quarterback in this game.
Austin Parker will be punting things away for Duke. Back deep, Tony Nicholson and Jalen Hurd for Baylor, getting his first opportunity to start. Fair catch called on, and Duke will take over, and we'll get another look at those Baylor wide receivers. 38-yard punt. Baylor, their second offensive series when we come back. Scoreless here in Waco. Baylor Bears will get their second offensive possession. Matt Rule's Bears, his second season here at Baylor.
Boy, he's done such a phenomenal job of sort of navigating the waters of everything that happened here with Art Briles, and still pulling in highly ranked recruiting classes. He's the right guy for the job, and it's starting to show.
And changing the culture here at Baylor. That handoff to John Lovett. Trey Hornbuckle with the stop.
Again, they're going to have to test that Duke defensive line. That is a strength of their defense. Baylor's offensive line last week, not particularly great against UTSA, a little leaky. They feel like they've got a size advantage, but they have to play a little bit more physical up front. We talked to Matt Rule just about the challenges he's possessing to the running game and the offensive line, and said, absolutely, we're challenging those guys to create some push and not give up so many seams.
And it'll be crucial for Baylor fans to take a look at what they do on this offensive series, because Coach Rule says he usually likes to give the quarterbacks, as that's complete to Lovett. Bounces off. A couple of Blue Devils, loses the football. It's loose. And they say Duke football. We got our first turnover. Dylan Singleton.
You're going to see Lovett just catch a swing pass out to the right side, and it's the extra effort. He's trying to fight for more yardage. Watch the ball in his left hand just get stripped out at the very end, right here, well before his knee or any other body part hits the ground. See the ball ripped out. That's a tremendous job by Josh Blackwell.
Yeah.
The redshirt freshman from Buford, Georgia. Creating takeaways, that's what it's all about on defense.
And remember, Coach Rule said he usually likes to give each quarterback a couple of series and then determine whether or not he's going to make the switch. That was the second for Brewer. Deion Jackson now in the backfield alongside Harris. Here are the Blue Devils now in Baylor territory. Harris keeps it. Picks up about 4 yards. Clay Johnston with the stop.
You saw the hard count sort of get all the Baylor defensive linemen to sort of flinch. They never jumped off sides, but they flinched a little bit. Gave the offensive line a little bit of the upper hand on that play.
Here's Harris. And he overshoots Jonathan Lloyd. 3rd and 7 for Duke. James Lynch was the one providing the pressure.
And it was James Lynch. Keep your eye right here as he makes a hit on the quarterback. It's going to be imperative to keep Quinton Harris clean because, again, not a very experienced passer. Needs to really set his feet. Needs to look at his target. And if he's got a big guy like James Lynch in his face, it's going to be hard to do that.
TJ Ramming's usually the guy they like to go to on 3rd down. Let's see what they've got here. They run the draw. And wide open. Deion Jackson. Touchdown, Duke. 31 yards for the Blue Devils.
Well, and that's just a tremendous job of the offensive line. Watch them get to the 2nd level. Watch the linebackers here, and these guys just clearing a path. Big 65 gets in the way. Look at that lane as you see. That's an easy cut for anybody to make. It's a nice play call and great execution on Duke's offensive line to get to the 2nd level and cause that crease.
Longest run of the year for the Blue Devils. Deion Jackson with his 2nd career TD. Got his first one just a couple of weeks ago. Extra point is good by Colin Wareham. And Duke first to strike. 7-0 our score here in Waco. Thanks to Deion Jackson. Welcome back to Baylor. Duke on top, 7-0. Thanks to Deion Jackson, his 31-yard touchdown run. His 2nd career touchdown. Duke goes 3 plays, 34 yards.
Well, what do we always talk about it for every defense and offense? Really, is you have to win the turnover battle. Offense can't give up anything. Defense, you want to take it away. And Duke comes out on the road and creates a fumble and gets 7 points off the forced fumble by Blackwell and the recovery by Singleton.
Jack Drivers with the kick. Josh Fleeks hesitates. And he's brought down at the 3-yard line. And remember, I asked you about the quarterback change.
Yeah, you were right, brother.
He usually gives them a couple of series, and already he's gone to the bullpen. And Jalen McClendon will come in. Charlie Brewer got 2 offensive possessions. 2nd one resulted into a turnover. Here's McClendon. Under pressure. Hit as soon as he throws it, and it's complete. Chris Platt comes up with the catch.
Woo, I think you see exactly everything that McClendon has right there. On the downside, he holds onto the football a little bit too long at times. It showed up last week against UTSA, a fumble right before the end of the 1st half, but then you see the arm strength that he possesses as well. Doesn't always need to step into the football to deliver it down the field.
McClendon, big arm. He's a transfer from North Carolina State. They go from the diamond formation, the Baylor Bears. That's Lovett with the carry.
Well, Ben Humphries on the tackle again.
15 tackles last week against Northwestern, led the team. He's going to be all over the place. Very athletic, a little undersized at 225, but he makes up for it being a very smart player, understands his game, understands where everything's going to be attacked from, and then he's very decisive. When he makes a decision to go get the football, he's going to go. There's no hesitation at all in his game.
They go with the jet sweep. That goes nowhere as Tyquan Thornton brought down by Joe Giles Harris.
Those Giles Harris on the outside. You'll see him right here, just scrape. He sees the receiver come in motion, not fooled by anything, just read his keys, read the offensive line, fights off the block and makes a play. And just like we talked about with Humphreys being his roommate, two very talented linebackers that make a lot of plays. You won't see these guys come off the field at all. You'll see rotation on the back end, you'll see rotation on the front side of this defense, but right there in the middle of the second level, those two guys will play every snap.
Yeah, Giles Harris has recorded at least 7 tackles, 13 straight games. McClendon looking for Hurd. Once again, you wanted to say, boy, you got to come up with those. Leonard Johnson was there for Duke.
Yeah, you really do. You really do. I mean, not every ball is going to be delivered right on the numbers or right at your face. Sometimes you're going to have to use your body control, slow your body down, come back to the football, and sometimes elevate just like that. So 2 key drops, which I think are catchable footballs for Jalen Hurd.
Drew Gallitz, the punt for Baylor. TJ Ramming standing back at his own 12. Well, it's the end of the first quarter. We've had 1 turnover. It resulted in our only score thus far. Duke up 7-0 into the first quarter. FS1 College Football will return right after this. The Brazos River here in Waco. 7-0 the score as we begin the second quarter. Duke and Baylor here in McLean Stadium. Third ever meeting between these squads. Quinton Harris flagged down. That pass is complete. For TJ Ramming. Cavius Chambers is hurt.
Offside, defense, number 9. Penalties decline. Result of the play, first down.
So that's a 17-yard pickup. We'll call that penalty on Ira Lewis. Cavius Chambers got himself up. He's going to stay in the game. They'll move the sticks. Britton Brown offset left of Harris. He gets the carry. He is thumped by Kedrick Vaughns.
This is something that you can pick up here as a defender. See the tight end? See how he's cheated a little bit closer to the line of scrimmage? That's a big time tell when it's a running down that they're going to block to that side. If you can communicate as a defense that, hey, I've got a close, cheated up, split, big back like a tight end or a fullback, I would be alerting all of my buddies on defense, hey, watch this guy, key this guy, because the run's coming over here.
Quick pass to Ramming. Looked like he was going to throw it. You know, Duke will pull out the trickery on you, Glenn Lieber.
Yeah, they really will. You just have to make sure that what you see is truly what's happening. You see the blocks, and sometimes these guys will release. And that's the discipline it takes sometimes as a corner or a nickel defender. You got to have eyes on your man and feel your guy, but also have eyes in the backfield to see what's going on.
5 wide for Harris. Brown in motion, jet sweep. Right side, first down and more. He's brought down at the 27-yard line by Terrell Bernard.
Well, and they ask these tight ends to do a lot in this offense. And you're going to see Daniel Helm on the outside. He's the one with the key block. You'll see him lined up in the backfield sometimes. You'll see him catch some passes, but that little shove and that little body angle is what springs everything for the first down.
20-yard pickup. Harris wide open. ramming, touchdown, Duke. "28 yards. The TJ ramming, their big play receiver. He is now just 16 catches shy of 200 in his career.
Well, and really it's the pump fake that Koenig gets the whole defense to stop, stutter, plant their feet, get flat-footed. Everybody think it's going to be a swing pass on the outside, and Ramming does a tremendous job of selling it, running with tempo his route, and then taking off after he sees the defenders flat-footed. Nice play call, great design, perfect execution for Duke.
Couple of big plays, couple of scores. As Colin Wareham puts on the extra point. And Coach Cutcliffe said, we need explosive plays. That's what they've gotten thus far. Thanks to this 28-yard pitch and catch, it's 14-0 Duke. Welcome back to Waco. 14-0 the score. You know, Quinton Harris started 1 for 8 in this game. Since then has gone 4 for 4, just threw a touchdown pass. And you know, head coach Cutcliffe says, I've been here before, Ben Lieber. You know, 6 years ago, his starting quarterback, Anthony Boone, injured his clavicle just like David Jones. In the second game against Memphis, he had a redshirt junior, Brandon Connett, who came in, threw for 198 yards, a couple of touchdowns. They won the game, went on to win 8 straight that season. All this is playing out all over again because he's got Quinton Harris, another redshirt junior, getting the start and playing well thus far.
He's making the most of his opportunities, a lot of short passes, then boom, all of a sudden a fake out to the outside and a big touchdown down the left side.
Brewer back in, and that one a little too hot for JaMychal Hasty to handle.
Well, we've seen a number of drops already by Baylor in the receiving core, including their running backs. And if you're going to help these guys out at all, you're going to see Hasty just get released there to the immediate right flat. Again, ball's not in a bad spot. Taking a look at whether or not that was a forward pass or behind the line of scrimmage.
Brewer, plenty of time, steps up. And it's complete to Chris Platt. That's a first down. And we've got a flag on the play.
Defense number 75. Half the distance to the goal. Third down.
That's Eliezer Anderson. He's the freshman, redshirt freshman out of Houston.
Well, there's Eliezer, the redshirt freshman, coming at left tackle. You see the hold right there in the inside part of the jersey. But what a nice...
Oh, what a grab by Platt.
What a nice grab by Platt. Yeah. I know it's being negated. Yards aren't going to count, but Brewer does a tremendous job of stepping up in the pocket. There's 8 defenders in coverage as they only brought 3, and he was able to sort of slither in there on that dig and find the opening, and Brewer found him as well.
So the Bears are going backwards. Now 3rd and 26. Under pressure, and he's got to get rid of it. That Duke defensive line is starting to impose their will here on the Bears offense.
Well, just look at all of the twisting and things that happen up front. Those guys, the Baylor offensive line, have to do a better job of communicating, moving their body. You see Patrick Lawrence, the right tackle, having to take on that twist. And Brewer has to do a better job of understanding where the pressure is going to come from. When they loop like that, the defensive tackle on the inside is responsible for contain, and that's exactly what happens. He tried to break the pocket.
Gallitz from his own end zone. Ramming. Lets it go, and it takes a Duke bounce. And down at the 47-yard line, just the 38-yard punt. So Duke will take over in Baylor territory when we come back. Gathered around and give him a pep talk there before they took the field. Here's Harris. That's complete. Chris Taylor making the catch for the Blue Devils.
I think Zach Roper, the offensive coordinator for Duke, really just has this Baylor defense just confused right now. They don't know what they're going to get. They're going to get run game with 2 backs in the backfield. They're going to get a little RPO action on that quick slant, or they're going to get a pump out to the outside, a deep shot down the field.
This time Harris keeps it. Falls forward. Pick up a 3. Terrell Bernard makes the stop for Baylor. You know, go back to you were talking with Coach Cutcliffe. He said, listen, I love Harris. He's basically been in the program, he said, for 4 years.
Yep.
Knows the entire offense. He's a born leader. These guys know him. They respect him. So we don't expect to change too much with him. Here's the handoff. Deion Jackson. He scored in the first quarter. Picks up a couple more. Third down for the Blue Devils. Jackson will line up as a receiver. They're 3 of 5 on third down. Harris keeps it. First down. The drive continues for the Blue Devils. They fake that jet sweep.
Well, and Baylor was thinking run. Look at Everett. This is the safety. Look how close to the line of scrimmage he is. Everybody has the mentality that they're going to run the football. It's a fake jet sweep, and they're going to pull the guard around to create an extra gap. Harris does a nice job of seeing that, pulling it, pick up the first down.
Jackson, the carry. He picks up a couple. Dropped at the 18, and now Duke inside the red zone. And, you know, the interesting thing going into this game here, Ben Lieber, Duke 7 for 7 in the red zone this year. That includes 5 TDs. So when they get here, they score. Another carry for Jackson. Not much there at all.
Well, once again, it's the tight end in the backfield sort of predicating where the run is going to go. Now it's not 100% because they use that as deception sometimes in some of the RPO game, getting him to look like run. He's going to block, and then they pull it down. But anytime you get that tight end in the backfield, you have to be high alert. He's going to be lead blocking.
3rd and 7 now for Duke. Harris. He was intended for Hubbard, but Baylor had that red.
It was Terrell Bernard, number 26 for Baylor, that drew the coverage on the running back. Does a nice job of staying patient, just waiting the running back to come to him and staying right on the coverage.
So here's Colin Wareham, 5th-year senior. This is from 35 yards out. His range is about 45 yards. And he knocks it through, and Duke is now 8 for 8 in the red zone. They're up 17-0 here in the second quarter.
And there's Jalen Hurd. We have not seen a lot from him, but he's such a key part of their offense that if Baylor's going to get anything going here at the end of the first half, it's going to have to come from the hands of Charlie Brewer and from the receiving angle of Jalen Hurd.
Here's Charlie Brewer. That's complete. And Jalen Hurd dropped it. And they say fumble, recovered by Duke. Leonard Johnson makes the recovery, making his first career start, playing in just the 3rd game. The redshirt freshman, another big play.
Well, it's the crossing routes that I was talking about earlier. That's how you beat some of this man-to-man. Jalen Hurd, he's wide open. And I have to say, I don't think that he ever had control of that ball.
After further review, the receiver did not complete the process of the catch. By rule, that's an incomplete catch. The 2nd down. Please reset the game clock to 3:58. 3:58 on the game clock.
Officials rule he did not complete the catch, so that's incomplete. No fumble. Boy, Baylor dodged a bullet there.
And they really did, but now, from an offense standpoint, what do? You want to feature your guy in Jalen Hurd, but he's dropped the ball 3 times already, and the first half isn't even over. You got to start looking at Chris Platt. You have to start looking at Mims.
Yeah, Denzel Mims.
Thornton. You know, maybe get your running backs involved in the passing game as well.
Mims has not been targeted yet at all. This is a guy who's 6'3", has 8 catches, 133 yards last week. They run the option. Love it. Lowers the shoulder. Knocked out of bounds at the 30.
Yeah, both of these backs, along with Jamichael Hasty, run really, really hard. They finish every single run. Lovett had an opportunity at the end of that run to just step out of bounds and preserve his body a little bit, but he wants to take that shot on the defender.
3rd and 3. Baylor's 50%. Completing 3rd down. Hand off to Lovett, and he may have gotten a yard. And there was the sophomore Victor Dumakaji, who is a beast on that line for Duke.
Watch him just loop back around. It's a nice call defensively. Again, we talk about all the loops and stunts that they have on passing downs, but it's equally as effective in the run game as well. You just have to make sure that you guess right. Duke does guess right, and they come up with a big stop on 3rd down.
Dumakaji was a freshman All-American last season. Hey, just last week he had 9 tackles, 2 of them for a loss, 1.5 sacks. He is someone you have to account for. Gaylor's with the punt. Ramming from his own 28. Shakes, spins, and brought down at the 34. 2 minutes and 30 seconds until the half. Duke up 17-0. They've got the ball again. They get the ball at the beginning of the 2nd half. Harris down the sideline. Lloyd caught. Lloyd's going all the way. Another big play for Duke. Touchdown. Blue Devils, 66 yards.
All right, who said Quinton Harris couldn't throw the football? It's one-on-one on the outside. Jonathan Lloyd gets that separation, uses that speed, and then look at the deliverance of that football.
Was that one hand? Did he catch that with one hand? Watch his left hand. Watch. Oh, my! Jonathan Lloyd.
But the football was placed right on his numbers. That ball could not have been thrown any better.
And Wareham shanks the extra point. And that will wrap up the 1st half with the score. Duke 23, Baylor nothing. Right now, let's go out to LA and Rob Stone. Stoner? Welcome back to Waco. 23-0 is the score. Duke on top of Baylor as we get ready to start the 2nd half. Brian Custer alongside Ben Lieber, and then going into this game, he had a Duke program. Talk about dealing with adversity. You know, they had Hurricane Florence they had to deal with.
Yep.
They lost their starting quarterback. They lost their best defensive player last week, and then lose their 2nd best defensive player in the first series of this game, and yet they're up 23-0.
Yeah, their defense has been doing it by taking the ball away. They've been playing really strong up front with their defensive front. But really, to me, it's about Quinton Harris stepping in at quarterback. You'll see the first takeaway right here for Duke. That led to 7 points. That started the whole scoring and really everything downhill for Baylor at that point in time. There's the touchdown on the little draw play after the takeaway. And then this is where Jalen McClendon, the number 2 quarterback, goes out for Baylor, forcing them to go. And then all of a sudden here, just when we think you couldn't throw the football, Quinton Harris, he comes out and throws the ball all over the field. And that's been the difference in this ball game.
And so Duke will start the 2nd half from their own 25. And here comes Quinton Harris, who threw for 142 yards in that 1st half. A couple of touchdowns, getting his first career start, the redshirt junior. In Wilton, Connecticut.
And we talked to the coaches just like, hey, what do you guys expect? You know, he doesn't really pass the football in 15 attempts. And they sort of looked at us coyly, and they're like, yeah, he'll be good. He's been in this offense a long time. He knows what's going on. We don't have to change too much of our offense.
1st down for Duke. Hand off to Britton Brown.
And really, Duke on every level has been dominating this football game. They've kept, from a play calling standpoint, you see Coach Cutcliffe right there building a great program off of taking care of the football, playing great red zone offense and defense, and then the creativity by Zach Roper in this offense to really keep Baylor's defense on their heels.
Another give. 2-yard pickup for Britton Brown.
I think this goes without saying that Baylor is down right now as a team. They need to come out in the second half and get a nice 3-and-out right here. They've done a nice job so far on first and second down. If they can get off on this series out of the first half or in the second half, I really think it's going to be good things for this team as far as momentum goes.
Empty set. Take the jet sweep. And incomplete to Britton Brown.
Well, again, that's the start that you want for Baylor. If you want to get back in this game, you need to give your offense as many opportunities to score, as many possessions as they can. And that's, without getting a takeaway, a 3-and-out is the next best thing.
Austin Parker will punt things away for Duke. This will be his third punt of the day. Here's Nicholson. Brought down at the 25. Baylor, first offensive possession of the second half when we come back. You know, Baylor has scored a touchdown first 8 quarters of the season. Today, a goose egg thus far.
Yeah, it's been drops. Baylor's receivers and running backs had 5 drops today, so no rhythm in the passing game. And Duke's defensive line getting it done as well.
That one's over the middle to Hasty. He's run out of bounds at the 31-yard line. So that means Brandon Feimster will come in. There's a quick one to Hurd. He falls forward for a first down. And John Williams at the stop.
Well, I think you kind of go back to a first quarter mentality. Again, we talk about those drops. You get some easy passes to Hurd, bring up his confidence level a little bit. They're going to need him down the stretch in this game to make some big plays. But again, you don't have to go down the field right now. You can be still methodical. You're not out of this game. It's not critical situations as far as time goes. Just to keep picking up first downs and march down the field.
Brewer over the middle. That one's incomplete to Platt.
Again, you got to take advantage of that speed coming across the field. Really hard to take that track speed and cover them going across the field. And again, you see the ball just delivered a little bit too low. Platt got up off the ground, sort of hand signals over to Charlie Brewer, like, get that ball up, get that ball up. He won the match. He's just got to get the ball delivered.
Check it out.
Baylor going 5 wide here. That's complete. Here's Hurd. Close to midfield. First down.
It was the old disco route or the shake route on the outside by Hurd. Watch him right here. Just watch him shake and bake. Hurd. Oh. He was going to find any way possible to get open. That's tough sledding for a linebacker, Ben Humphreys, on one of the most skilled position guys on the Baylor offense.
You got to call that the Ricky Bobby route. 6 catches, 57 yards for Hurd. And Brewer going downfield for Hurd again. And overthrows him.
And we got a flag on the field, right in the middle of the field as well.
Duke defensive tackle Edgar Serenor walked off on his own power. And here's Brewer. How about that catch? Tyquan Thornton coming up with it.
Well, sometimes you just need your receivers to make some plays for you. This is a slightly underthrown ball. They get man-to-man coverage on the outside. And the freshman is the one that is athletic enough to go up over the top of the defender and come down with that football. Big play by the young Baylor wide receiver.
39 yards. Tyquan Thornton, freshman out of Miami. You know, he ran a 4.28 in high school. Handoff, Hasty. He's close to a first down.
I talked about earlier just how much Hasty runs with violence downhill. It was evident on that run.
They go with tempo. Brewer gets a push. Falls into the end zone. Touchdown, Baylor Bears.
Well, the whole thing got started for me with the defensive 3 and out. That's the way you want to start the second half, to build a little bit of momentum. They get an early first down, and then the big shot down the field to Thornton sets up the easy quarterback sneak for Brewer, and all of a sudden now Baylor's got a little bit of life.
Here's Connor Martin. Oh, bad snap. Still loose. So the extra point, no good. But Baylor finally on the board. Thanks to TNT, Tyquan Thornton, the freshman, and Charlie Brewer finishing off. 23-6 the score here in the third. Charlie Brewer, Baylor Bears get on the board 23-6. Baylor 8 plays and 75 yards. Did it in 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
But it was the big pass play to the freshman Tyquan Thornton that sort of set everything up. Breathe some life into this Baylor offense and defense.
Drew Gallitz kicks it out of bounds. And here's Brown, stuffed behind the line of scrimmage. Kedrick Vaughns.
Let's keep your eye right here. Good job of just staying square on the mesh point and being outside in.
Second and 14. Play fake, under pressure, Harris. He had to get rid of it and nearly picked off. Bravion Roy.
Well, again, it's pressure right up front by James Lynch. We talk about his hand speed and his fundamentals. Just that quick arm over, all the while getting penetration and getting vertical. Causes the quarterback to get outside. Another quarterback hit for James Lynch.
Lynch has just wreaked havoc all day long. Crucial third down here, 3rd and 14. They go to the draw, and Brown slips and falls. Had a little bit of daylight.
Yeah, had a little bit of daylight, but I still think, looking at it, Baylor's done a nice job of sort of recalculating their defense, going less man-to-man in third and long situations, playing more short underneath zone. So there were 3 Baylor defenders there, even if he had stayed on his feet to make a cut to try to stop it.
Coach Rule called Ira Lewis a Rule guy. Practices and plays off. Punt is blocked. Picked up and returned for a touchdown by Baylor. 33 yards. To Michael Hasty, scoring for the Bears, and we got a football game.
And it looks like Christian Morgan just can come off the left side. Just goes right around that little 3-man wall. No reason to have 2 guys against 3 and have a miscommunication on the blocking front. And there he is, opportunistic. Got to stay in this game.
Extra point is good. And Baylor on the comeback. 23-13. Don't you go anywhere.
Well, you see, it's all been about Duke throwing the football, receiving the football. We didn't know we were going to get out of Quinton Harris, but look at those numbers for the guys on the outside. It's going to be up to those two in this situation with Baylor now with all the momentum to preserve the lead and win this game.
Britton Brown in the backfield. Crowd is getting lively here in Waco. Here's a slant. It's complete. You talked about him, Ben Lieber, and Jonathan Lloyd, the captain, delivers.
It's a great setup on just the RPO. They have a lead look with the tight end in the backfield. Everybody up front thinks it's going to be a run. They pull it down, run that quick slant. Ball's delivered on a strike right in the chest.
There's the handoff. It goes nowhere to Britton Brown.
Now you can just see the energy level picked up by Baylor's defense right now. Everybody up front rallying to the football, getting hits on the ball carrier. They have found new life on both sides of the ball.
Quinton Harris started the game 1 for 8. Got really hot in the second quarter, went 6 for 8. So far the second half, 2 of 8. Under pressure, he's going to keep it. He's got a first down and plenty more. Quinton Harris runs into his own man. And how about his own teammate probably saved a touchdown for Baylor? Daniel Helm with the stop.
Watch the blitz off of the edge. If you're going to be the edge blitzer, you have to contain. You cannot let him just scoot right in front of you and make up a big play as a quarterback, and then he runs into the tight end.
This season in the red zone and scoring opportunities. Harris keeps it for a couple.
It's clearly going to be the drive of the half so far for Duke. They needed a big response. A lot of momentum back on Baylor's side. They needed something. They got it on the quarterback keeper up the middle. Now they need to convert.
We give to Britton Brown. Shakes a man inside the 10. And Duke is knocking on the door again.
And again, they're going with tempo. They're going right up to the line of scrimmage. You see Baylor's defense are milling around.
Brown again. And he's met right at the 7 by Verkedrick Vaughn. We've talked about it this season. 8 for 8 in the red zone, 5 TDs. They kicked the field goal earlier in this game from the red zone. You've got Lloyd and Ramming at the top of your screen. 2nd and goal. Harris, incomplete. He's looking for Chris Taylor.
And I think that ball was tipped. They had exactly what they were wanting. Baylor overcommitted a bunch of defenders to their right side and ended up single coverage on the bottom on the weak side of the defense. We'll take a look at the tip ball here. Really nice job. If you're not going to get to the quarterback, Greg Roberts knows that he's got to get his hands up to try to alter the pass.
3rd and goal. Duke up 10. He's looking for Ramming. Got him! Corner of the end zone. Touchdown, Blue Devils. Quinton Harris delivers. So does Duke once again from the red zone.
Boy, and that's the answer that you're looking for. They guessed right. They're going to have a blitz coming off of the edges for Baylor. Watch the blitzes here. They're getting manned up on the outside with inside leverage. The only spot you can put this ball is outside. Use your speed to create that separation. That ball is perfectly lofted. And Duke with the answer they're looking for.
Extra point is good. And the Blue Devils respond. 4th catch for Ramming. Duke up 30-13. (30-13) the score here in Waco. As TJ Ramming with another catch and a touchdown catch for him. His second of the season. There's the kick from Jack Driggers. This is Fleeks. And he's dropped at the 13. As we head to the fourth quarter. 30-13 the score. (30-13) is our score here as we get ready to begin the fourth quarter. Duke has outscored their opponent 46-0 in the fourth quarter in their last 7 games. There's McClendon in Baylor. Flares it out. Ebner. Across the 20, puts his head down. Knocked out of bounds. Leonard Johnson making the stop.
I'm not sure what McClendon was looking at there. I mean, he has a tendency at times to hold on to the ball a little bit too long. That was a pretty easy swing pass out to the right, and he sort of double pumped it, double clutched. I'm not sure why he was doing that, but he's got to get the ball out, be a little bit more decisive when he's throwing the football.
Ebner, the sophomore out of Henderson, Texas, in the backfield with McClendon. McClendon keeps it, and he is brought down. Demacaging. Chris Rumpf right there.
Well, that's not really his game. I mean, McClendon is more of a passer down the field, strong arm. Charlie Brewer has the ability to run outside the pocket with some of those design quarterback runs. And, you know, with McClendon getting banged up earlier in this game on a hard tackle, you got to be careful now. You're going to use his big arm going down the field. I don't want to risk him getting hurt running the football.
McClendon under pressure, steps up. He's going to keep it. 30. First down. And run out of bounds. They'll move the sticks.
Well, sometimes when you're Duke and you're going to have a defensive front that's going to be bringing all these little twists and stunts, that you open up natural seams at times. It's hard to have lane discipline when you're rushing, when you have so much movement going on up front. McClendon sees that, nothing down the field, sees the natural crease, takes off for a first down.
Fakes the option pitch, keeps it, dives forward for a first down.
He faked himself out there. It's a great fake. He fakes out the defender, but he fakes out his own feet.
And the drive continues. McClendon steps up. And he's close to another first down.
And again, it was a long looping stunt on the defensive front that sort of opened up this big area in the middle. And McClendon, again, not being real decisive throwing the football. If the ball's not, if the window's not clearly open, he's not going to throw it. He's going to hold it, run it, pick up some yardage with his legs.
In the flat, Hasty. Good defensive play there. Short of the first down, Kobe Kwanzaa.
That is tough responsibility for Kobe Kwanzaa out in the flat against a really shifty back and Hasty. He doesn't stop his feet, keeps his feet running, and makes a nice open tackle.
3rd and 1 for Baylor. Hurd in the I formation. They give it to him. He's got a first down and more. Shakes a man and brought down at the 25. Demacaging.
Is this going to be a straight lead play by the fullback? And you see those skills, the ability to use that vision and those feet in the hole. He was a running back at Tennessee, and you can see that real evident on that play right there.
for Coach Cutcliffe and his Blue Devils. And will they pitch a shutout here in the fourth quarter? They have not given up any points in the fourth quarter in their last 7 games. In fact, the last time a team has scored on the Duke Blue Devils in the fourth quarter, you got to go back to October of last year when Pitt scored on them and beat the Blue Devils 24-17. McClendon going up top. Pitching catch, touchdown, Baylor. The streak is over, and Tyquan Thornton, the freshman's got a TD catch.
Boy, he's got some athletic ability, doesn't he? Made a tough catch earlier in the second half, a 39-yard big reception. And when they need a big play, they're going to dial it up to the young freshman on the outside. Man-to-man again, just elevates over the top. You see the concentration and the ability to come down with it. See those big eyes just track that football. What a play by Tyquan Thornton.
Extra point is good. The lead is 10. Baylor Bears coming up with a big play and scoring on Duke. Look at the Brazos here in Waco. Baylor Bears down 10. 9 minutes, 44 seconds left in this one as Matt Rule's squad will not go away. They will fight you. We've got a touchback. Here we go. Quinton Harris. What a game he's had. He's thrown 3 touchdown passes. Jet sweep. Jackson, left side. Look out. He's got speed. And tripped up as he's inside Baylor territory by Chris Miller.
Well, so far, Baylor, you're going to see that there's the jet sweep. Look at the lack of awareness by the Baylor defense. When you're playing that soft zone, you have to adjust with that motion. If you shift your linebackers and second-level guys to the right side, you give yourself a better chance.
25-yard pickup for Jackson. And he picks up about 6 more.
And now I talk about that conservative nature of just running the football, but if you can do those jet sweeps and those creative run plays, it's sort of an aggressive play call, because especially when Baylor so far is not going to adjust.
Jackson goes out, Hubbard checks in the backfield. He gets the carry. Legs churning, and he's got a first down for Duke at the 30.
What a nice stable of running backs that they have here for Duke with Brown and Jackson and Hubbard. You know, Hubbard's listed as the fastest guy of the 3, but yet you can see the power in his legs. Watch number 20 after initial contact. Just bounce off the defender, keep those legs moving, pick up another first down.
Hubbard thrown down, and that's going to draw a penalty. Bravion Roy.
He just said, what'd I do? Well, you can't take a ball carrier like that and slam him on the ground.
Yeah.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Defense under 7-7. 15-yard penalty. First down.
That was going to hurt, because that could have been a 5-yard loss, Ben. Now it's a 15-yard pickup.
Oh, they called the wrong number, but you see the suplex by Bravion Roy. You got to imagine that there's a little bit of frustration involved in that tackle, because they're just getting run on here when they need to get a big defensive stop.
And keep in mind, the Duke Blue Devils, perfect in the red zone. Hubbard, the carry. Tried to get to the edge. Chad Kelly with the stop.
Well, so many of these tackles, unfortunately, not going the way of Baylor. They're making good initial contact, but it's the strength of these ball carriers that they're just falling forward or bouncing off tackles. Baylor's putting themselves schematically in the right position to make some plays. They just need to hit with a little bit more intensity, wrap and drive their legs, and match the intensity of the Duke ball carriers.
2nd and 8. Hubbard was met right at the line of scrimmage. Deontay Williams. James Lynch drives him back. Third down now for Duke.
And there's Lynch again. Look at him use that separation, the hat in hands. He's been a force in the passing game, getting quarterback hits and hurries. Now they need him to make a play in the run game. He does just that.
Ramming and Lloyd at the bottom of your screen. Harris keeps it. And he's short of a first down.
It was Clay Johnston, number 44, the linebacker, that comes up, fights off the block from the tight end, and comes up and makes that play. Haven't called his name a ton today, but he is one heck of a football player.
So here comes Colin Wareham, the fifth-year senior. This is from 31 yards out. Duke has scored every time they've been in the red zone today. And that one's good. 3 for 3 in the red zone for Coach Cutcliffe and his Duke Blue Devils. And they're up 33-20 with 5 minutes to play. Fourth quarter, 5 minutes left here in Waco. Baylor scores a touchdown. Duke responds with a field goal. Jack Driggers will kick things away for Duke. Levette and the freshman Fleeks. Holds it, throws, it's complete. Ebner. About 3 yards shy of a first down. Miles Hudzik with the stop.
And I'll continue to hammer the point home that McClendon, again, sort of double pumped on that throw. He needs to do a better job of having the internal clock, because that's going to come back to get him at times.
He rolls right. He's going to keep it. Ooh, takes a big hit at the 40-yard line.
Boy, that was a shot by Singleton. You'll see him as a deep free safety roaming the middle of the field. McClendon doesn't like what he sees, pulls the ball down, and watch this hit right in the middle of the back.
That's what you say. I need you to start sliding, son. Steps up in the pocket. Looking, he's going to keep it again. He's run out of bounds at the 45. Leonard Johnson pushes him out.
Yeah, all these plays are picking up yardage, but not the type of yards that you want to pick up in this situation. You need 2 touchdowns to come back and win this game. The clock is not your friend, and 4- and 5-yard chunks running the football and quarterback scrambles is not going to get it done.
Under 4 minutes left in this one. Intercepted. Johnson. And that's a pick 6. As Leonard Johnson, the redshirt freshman, goes 53 yards. What a football game he's had in his first career start.
Well, what a great jump on the ball. But again, it's McClendon not throwing the ball on time. The receiver makes his break, then he throws the ball. That's too late. When you're going to throw that out-cutting route, you need to make that throw as the receiver is making the break, not after he makes the break. You see Leonard Johnson there to step right in front of that ball and take that thing to the house. And Brian, just like you said, redshirt freshman getting his first career start. He has been all over this field today.
The extra point by Wareham. Money. And Duke has now dropped 40 on the Baylor Bears. 3 minutes, 30 seconds left in this one. Welcome back, 40-20. The score thanks to Leonard Johnson and his 53-yard pick six.
Well, here's what I'm talking about throwing the ball late. There's Jalen Hurd, the number 2 receiver. There, Leonard Johnson's in coverage. That ball should be out right now. See, the ball's all just now coming out, and Hurd had already made his break to the outside. That's the thing I'm talking about with anticipation. Those longer throws to the outside. McClendon, the whole game today has been double clutching, double pumping, not quite sure when he's supposed to throw the football, and it came up to bite him on a play that they needed late in this game.
What do you think about this Duke squad, man? I mean, this says a lot about their program, the adversity they had to deal with, and I'll tell you what, they can make some noise in the ACC Central. You know, you look at Vatek, who's unbeaten. The game got canceled because of the weather with East Carolina, but you got Miami there, who's really 1-1. But I'll tell you, Duke can really do something in that ACC Central.
Well, I tell you what, you know, that they've always been known as a tough, disciplined football team that's going to get the most out of their players. They don't get the highest recruits to come to Duke for obvious reasons. But you see, you got North Carolina Central, which would seem, you know, like a win right now, especially with the way that they're playing. You got Bud Foster and Virginia Tech coming into town. That's going to be an awfully tough game.
That pass is complete.
But then as we go down the schedule, again, they're going to get the win here today. They've got a tough game at Georgia Tech. That's really going to stress out this defense against that option. And then you got Virginia. That could be a win. Then you go to Pitt on the road. That could be a win as well. So tough schedule, but you've got some winnable football games in the next 6.
Coach Cutcliffe has led Duke to bowl games in 5 out of the last 6 years. And that was over. Intended for Platt, knocked away. Antoine Williams.
Well, again, we're going to get a lot of defensive line play, and watch these guys come in here. Here's Ben Fry on the twist, lack of communication, and another quarterback hit.
Second and 10. For Charlie Brewer. These Baylor Bears. Brewer, plenty of time. Over the middle and complete. Tyquan Thornton.
Pass complete to Tyquan Thornton, and that's another Baylor.
These dig routes, I tell you what, are some of the easiest balls to complete, especially when you have time. Just watch him tempo that whole route down the field. It makes the break at the right time, right when he feels the defenders clear out that spot. And Brewer throws a strike, and they got to hurry up.
That's complete. Knocked out of bounds by Pooh Strickland.
Again, I'm a little baffled by just the milling around of Baylor's offense at this point.
They go quick, and Brewer falls into the end zone. So under 2 minutes left. Baylor back on the board.
Well, Baylor now, you know, you put yourself within 2 scores. You have 3 timeouts. Use those timeouts wisely. Defense has to step up, stop Duke's offense, force a punt, score, and then somehow, either an onside kick or whatever, steal another possession to give themselves a chance to win this game.
You know, I was getting ready to say that. Remember at the very end of practice, they ended it with special teams, and they were practicing the onside kick. Let's see if we see it when we come back. Baylor 27, Duke 40. Under 2 minutes left. Hey, welcome back. As we take a look at the Dockers game summary, 40 points, Duke rolls up here on Baylor. How about Quinton Harris getting his first career start, throws for 174, 3 TDs. Duke again, perfect in the red zone, 3 for 3. Well, get a couple of points, a couple of touchdowns off of turnovers. And to me, I think Coach Cutcliffe is going to look, how about that? No penalties.
So we talked about how disciplined this team is. They don't make a lot of mistakes. They don't hurt themselves. They don't kill themselves in a lot of situations. They play great defense. good red zone offense and defense. And again, 174 is not exactly, blowing the doors off statistically, but you get a couple touchdowns and your defense steps up with the pick 6.
Here's the onside kick, and it's recovered.
That's the other hidden part of this. You talk about mental toughness, which Coach Cutcliffe has always been known to have as far as teams go. All the stuff that they had to deal with at home, taking care of their injured players, making sure they had places to go, all their facilities and people that work at their facility, they were all taken care of. So even though they're on the road, they still have thoughts and things going on back at home in North Carolina. And then you just brought up, they don't even know if they can get home today. They're going to try to. They may not be able to fly directly to home. They might have to fly maybe into Charlotte. They may have to fly up north a little bit and make a couple-hour drive. So being able to compartmentalize all the distraction, come out and play a good football team on the road and dominate like that is awfully impressive.
Third meeting between Duke and Baylor. And Coach Cutcliffe and his Duke squad will come up victorious again. They'll be now 3-0 against Baylor. First time these two teams are playing here in Waco. And Duke will continue on. They will be now 3-0 on the season. Baylor 2-1. Big plays is what Duke had here, not only offensively. Quinton Harris got his first career start.
And you could see Quinton Harris just kind of pounding his chest a little bit. He's got to feel awfully good about that. I'm sure he was pretty anxious, a little stressed going into this game, but he came out and performed very well, and he deserves his own pat on the back.
Threw for 172 and 3 touchdowns. Final score, Duke 40, Baylor 27. That's going to do it here from Waco, Texas. Right now, let's get you to L.A. My man, Mike Thrill Hill, Nick Swisher, Dontrell Willis, Major League Baseball coverage.